Hey guys, it's Jeff. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the new gun control call for legislation Joe Biden put out on his website on whitehouse.gov. Coming up after this. All right, guys, I'm back. So calling all you patriots, freedom lovers, and Democrats who didn't think that Biden would affect gun control legislation for the next 4 years, I want to call you to action because it's already begun. We are 25 days from the inauguration. We're 1 day from the end of the impeachment trial of Trump, and already Joe Biden is calling for new legislation to be enacted around gun control. Now, he's put it up on his website. You guys can go and check it out. But if you thought H.R. 127 was going to be the problem, H.R. 127 is not going to be anything compared to what Nancy Pelosi is going to be able to put out there. Nancy Pelosi is very sly, very crafty when it comes to passing legislation, and she's going to get exactly what she wants, and it's going to be exactly what the president is calling for. And so if you're ever going to be fearful, if you're ever going to be concerned, if you were ever going to have a reason to be called to action, this is going to be it. Whatever comes out of the House of Representatives, now that Joe Biden has officially made the call, is going to pass. It's going to get through the House, it's going to get through the Senate, and it's going to be signed into law. And you're not going to have any recourse other than to resist or take it to the courts and fight it on Second Amendment grounds. So I just want to make you all aware that this legislation is coming, that the call to action has begun from Joe Biden, and to pay attention to what's coming. So they're already using language like, the dead bodies of the Parkland families and standing on the graves of the children that were murdered that day. Now, what is their answer to that kind of situation? They had police standing outside of the Stoneman Douglas High School when that event was occurring, and while the murderer was walking through the halls killing people, the police were standing outside. Now, we've covered this before on this channel. The police have no duty to act on your behalf. They have no responsibility. Nothing in the legislature that has ever been passed holds a police officer or any government official liable for the actions or failure to take actions when their life could be put at risk. So those police officers that stood outside that day while children were being murdered, those are the same people that the government is telling you will be there to protect you in the event that they remove your ability to protect yourself. So watch how they frame the conversation. Watch how they insert and inject identity into this. They talk about underprivileged or more affected groups of people like black and brown people. They talk about an epidemic of violence towards gun violence in these communities. If you look at these communities, the number one killer in these communities is the same number one killer in all of the rest of America, and it's still heart disease and diabetes. So when they talk about looking for an epidemic, why don't they focus on the things that are really killing people in the United States and not bogus boogeyman like firearms that don't kill anybody unless the person that's holding the gun chooses to do so. It's absurd, it's obnoxious, it's dangerous, it's a violation of the Constitution, and I want to make everybody aware of it. One of the biggest things that they're going to use was something that was on Biden's gun control plan when he was running for president, and it was the remove the liability for manufacturers. He explicitly calls that out on his whitehouse.gov posting, and if you think about it, what they're trying to do with that is if they can remove the liability for firearms manufacturers to be sued, then they know that what will happen is the manufacturers will get sued into obscurity. There'll not be a single manufacturer that will be able to withstand a lawsuit from a family member who's murdered. So if you murder somebody by getting into your F-150, you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and you drive down the highway and you plow into a family of four and you kill them all. Do they hold Ford responsible because you got into an F-150 and killed that family? Do they hold 7-Eleven responsible for selling you the gas that made that vehicle move? Well, that's what they want to do when it comes to gun legislation. They want to make the liability different for firearms than they do for any other object in the United States. the same object that has an amendment written to preserve and protect it from any infringements by the federal government. They want to just ignore all of that and put in as many infringements as possible. And this is just the beginning. I think if you go look at the Joe Biden plan, I've posted it before. If it's still up there, I mean, it's just laced with all kinds of obnoxious language when it comes to a wet dream of a liberal Democrat who feels that big government knows how to protect you better than you know how to protect yourself. So anyway, this is a call to action, guys. If you're not already a member of the GOA, the NRA, the state gun rights associations, the Firearm Policy Coalition, or any of the other gun rights organizations that are out there, it's time to make your donation. It's time to make your voice heard. Your dollars will go a long way to letting legislature know that you're not happy with this type of infringement on your rights. No other constitutional amendment in the Bill of Rights gets the same type of infringements that the Second Amendment gets. Would you stand for the same type of restrictions on your First Amendment as they are trying to apply to your Second Amendment? I ask you that question. If you voted for Biden, if you voted for the Democrats in this last election, is this what you voted for? Do you want this type of infringement? Do you want this type of big government to control your life? I ask you that. Let me know in the comments section. Maybe I'm missing something. So anyway, with that, guys, that's my video for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider a subscription. Subscriptions are what really motivate me to keep making this content. And also check me out on my other social media sites. I'm on Instagram, MeWe. I'm on eventually Parler. I'm on BitChute. I'm on Rumble. So check me out there. Check me out here. And stay tuned for the next video, guys. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.